price would be. Shouldn't have sold off.
So, oh, that one's done and it's ready to go. Oh, Veritasium. Oh, very. Steven is the man. So I've been gone Saturday morning early. Woke up like at 7 something, 30, whatever. 8 o'clock, 8:30. Get the kids ready, everybody ready. We're going on a little quick mini vacation down to Fort Lauderdale. Got a hotel right near the beach because I figured I'd drop my wife and kids off, go back to help Michelle Whitedove, the psychic lady, without the noise and kids. I'm bored, ship them off. Go to the beach, have fun. Papa's got work to do. And but we, and I'm thinking about the whole time, like, I don't think I told them I was bringing my whole family. They probably were just expecting me. It's like 30 minutes before I'm at their house. And anyway, so I'm like, oh yeah, we're talking for a minute. I'm like, oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned I'm bringing my whole family, my wife and kids. And it was all good. But they're like, oh, well, we had a surprise for you, but I think we'll be okay. And the surprise was surf and turf, steak, lobster, baby. Oh, her husband, Jay, cooked it. It was right and tight. Let me tell you something. It was good. So, I felt like, like they were welcoming a king or something. Yeah, I felt like I was a king walking in there eating that stuff. Whoa, you did all that for me? Holy crap. Let me just tell you something. Normal as normal people can be. They ain't out there living large, big old McMansion. Nope. Normal house, normal cars, normal people. Except for the fact that she's extremely psychic. Medium, as she says. And all mediums are psychic, as she says. But man, I had a good time over there. But I wasn't going there for a reading, right? It wasn't like a scheduled reading for me or anything like that. I was going there to help her. Let me get you set up. I already sent you all the Nano Ledger S's in the mail. They've got them. I sent one for her manager, the lady who manages all her stuff, kind of an assistant manager, if you will. She got one, and then her husband got one. So all three of them got a Nano. And I'm like, all right, I'll drop my kids after we ate and chatted for about an hour and a half. Let's let me go to the hotel, drop them off, and I'll come back. Oh, of course, it's spring break weekend. Oh, wasn't the greatest decision getting a hotel over close to the beach, but I only got woke up a couple times briefly and went back to bed. It actually wasn't too bad. But, drop the kids off, wife, y'all go have fun at the beach, do your thing, and I'm going to go back to their house. So, got them all set up, walked them through the Nano Ledger stuff, and set up my Ether wallet to work because you can also use that for the Nano Ledger for tokens. And I had a bunch of Theta tokens on standby to give to them. So I'm like, all right, we'll get that sent to you guys. And, yep, do that. Got their email addresses. We were great. By the way, you had no idea how thankful she was. She could not believe the Litecoin donations that came in. Could not believe it. Oh my God. And that was Saturday, earlier Saturday, like, 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I got there. I don't even know when they looked at it before that, but it's actually climbed some more, since now it's Sunday, which is, it's a beautiful thing. I told her, I said, look, y'all, your whole life you give to people. It's basically your job. That's what you do. You were told this is what your mission is in life. So now I'm not going to tell you I have any kind of new news or new prediction or anything like that, but we chatted about a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, man, I don't even want to leave. I want to stay for a little while, even longer. But, it's weekend. I still got work and stuff Monday and that whole thing. So, my wife and kids, they're ready to go. And she wanted to go see her godmother on the way back up. So we went down the west coast side of Florida, across Alligator Alley. Then we went back up the east coast side. And we saw her godmother. I don't know if I just said stepmom, godmother. And for, I don't know, a couple hours or so, had lunch, took her out to lunch, and then we left to head back home. Nice little drive. About a 4-hour drive both times, there and then back, obviously. But at least the way up, we shaved an hour off by stopping to see her, godmother. So, anyways, I get to their house, and we're just chatting about stuff, and of course, she's telling me all kinds of, they're all telling me all kinds of different stories. And there's another, and I want to watch this too. She was on the America's psychic challenge show. And she said, there was an international version of that, but there were some things in there that I guess we just couldn't show on American television, so it never really got aired in the U.S. She's like, but it's out there. You can find the YouTube clips and stuff. And I don't know if she won that one or not, but I know she did well based off what they were telling me, some of the stuff she was doing. So it was another challenge she did real well with it. But I do want to say one thing. When I had her on my show and you could kind of hear her assistant say a couple things to her sometimes when she was like looking for the right word or whatever. And you'll find this typically with psychic mediums, etc. When they give someone whatever information they need to give someone during a reading, it's not like the psychics sit there and try, they got to remember everything. Imagine giving thousands and thousands and thousands of people all very specific readings for them that only they, would really know about. So, it's going to be quite different for everybody. And having to go back 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago and remember one little thing, So you might have heard her assistant say a couple of things. I'm just here to tell you that's why that happens. They're still human. They only have so much brain, memory, if you will. And I was talking to a friend too on the phone about it. He's like, yeah, you can kind of hear the lady a couple times, background. Like, yeah, I know exactly what that is, and that is what it is. Because we were actually talking a little bit about that when I was at her house. Not that particular video, but just in general. How, you can't remember everything, but some of the really good stuff, like whatever that they kind of remember, it's those stories they'll kind of retell a lot of the times. But even then, there's a million of them. And sometimes she'll get no, that wasn't 2016, it was 2006. Oh, sorry, stuff like that. But, it's just kind of like you're in that mode, you're switched on, then you're switched off. It's, it's kind of out there, but her assistant, remembers a lot of stuff too. So she'll kind of remind her of some of the, oh, no, don't tell them about that one. No, that was older than that. Tell them that one, cool stuff. So, no, I'm not concerned. It wasn't like she was trying to figure out what to say, like just FYI. But, I asked her about the theta again. I said, and it wasn't like a reading. We were just talking again about it. And she said, yeah, that one just came up. Boom. It's like, I just knew I had to tell Pete about it. So I told Pete. He, of course, told you and all that. And I said, I'm just like, do you think it's possible? Because even not me, I'm having a little trouble wrapping my head around $1,000 plus, maybe even thousands of dollars plus for one token like theta in this example. Now, Litecoin, I don't have a problem with that. And naturally, you probably don't either. And you say, oh, well, there's only 84 million that'll ever be created. There's currently 64 or 5 somewhere million that's circulating. Well, it's kind of the same story with theta. Not that little, but about 500,000, a little more than 500,000, I think, circulating tokens. But who knows what the future, what's going to be like? What's the cost of a gallon of milk at the time, or whatever? If it's 3 or 4 years from now, what's happening at that time? So, and I'm not questioning it. I just, wondering, because Pete warned me, everybody warned me, like, she's that lady. I've had people email me after I did that interview. Joe, hi, my name's Amanda. Hi, my name's this. Hi, my name's that. I've used her. Yes. Oh my God, she's unbelievable. And Pete was telling me something too. I talked to him today. And he goes, oh, let me say this. And I'll say this too. Which, whether he said or not, I actually meant to talk about this in this video. But he said, you'll notice she does a lot of like big celebrity, predictions and things like that. She's known for that. But at the same time, she'll do world predictions. She's even done the elections, and she didn't get it right. She did not get it right, and it's on her blog. It's still posted. Didn't get it right. And he says, he's like, I think it's just because there's so many outside forces that can affect it. It's a little different than her coming to you or me in our little tiny lives and picking things out, or whatever. He said, I don't know. That was Pete talking. And I feel like I agree with that. But I've had people I've never heard from emailing me now. A few. Joe, I know her. Yes, I've used her. Whoa. Yes, yes, it's real, stuff like that. So I thought, oh, it's cool, But I'm like, so I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, do you think it's possible that when you got the theta token thing, that it was thousands of percentage points higher? Because that would still be great. That would still be a phenomenal move, right? 1,000% is 10 times. That's great. A few thousand, of course, that'd be 10, 20, 30, 40 times return. That's still great. And I'm like, do you think it's possible? She goes, no, it was not. I'm telling you, it was not percent. It was not percentage. It was dollars. It was money. It was, I'm sure. I'm like, okay, I just wanted to clarify, because it's just, ah, and so I'm like, okay, that's it. But she said, listen, I'll tell you again. She says, I don't feel like this is going to be something like, because I told her about Veritasium, how I got in, and 3 weeks later I sold off, all that crap. She's like, it's not going to be like that stuff. I feel like we're going to have to wait. People have to understand with this one, they've got to be patient. But man, will they be rewarded if they're just patient. And I said, well, it reminds me of this one called Pillar. And I told the people the same thing because I had the data in front of me at the time. I wasn't psychic. Their platform's going to be out there's a way. And when it comes out, I think this thing will start rising. And that's exactly what's happened. And so I said, I know how that goes, but I couldn't say that for Theta. Now, naturally, if you go look at where they are in their timetable or timeline and out the Theta website, yeah, there's some stuff happening this year, but later on, and then 2019 stuff. So, and then she said it again. She goes, I still think, even you will be surprised that it'll be here quicker than you think. But that doesn't mean quick by any means. By the way, everybody listening, and she felt like it would do kind of it will creep as well. It's not just going to stay at 12, 13, whatever cents. Which, by the way, the freaking thing is over like 21, 22 cents. And I'm thinking to myself, I know. I'll come out here. I'll talk about token. Hey, I got some inside scoop on something or another. People will go and jump on the token. I understand that. But I got in when it was over here 12 and 13 cents, like right over here. Okay? The volume was about $8 million, as you can see. And a few days later, I got, like 3 days later, I think I got some more. It was like right here. Like 11.5 cents. I'm like, I have to get more. Just something was telling me, get more. People that are going to want some, and you're going to have to help your friends and family. All right. So I got some more. Still, $6 million volume. Then, now that was Monday. We told the trade call people, I think it was Tuesday. Hey guys, it's Theta token, blah, blah, blah. So that was Tuesday. You see it does creep up. There's Tuesday. So 6,789,000. Starts to get to 10, 11, 12. Well, of course, that's Wednesday now. Wednesday, I do the video with her. We talk about it, whatever. I'm just going to say, to go from $6 million 24-hour, volume to 28 million, 34, 37 million dollars. This is today. 22 cents, 23 cents. It's bouncing around almost 22 cents at the moment. I'm thinking, holy crap. And again, if I was a rotten little bastard, I'd have been dumping it right now on all the unsuspecting people who got in. It isn't in my heart. I couldn't do it. I'm hodling the hell out of this, and I will continue hodling the hell out of this. So, let me just say this, and I'm not going to give you any examples right now. She has more what I'll call powers, if you will, than I realized. It's not just, let me read me, and, can you talk to some dead person, my great uncle, because she can do that. It ain't just those two things. Let me tell you something. This lady can do many, many, many things that I didn't even know about until I was at their house. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to be, like, I'm thinking I'm going to have so much fun with this lady doing some things in the future that I think are going to be absolutely epic. And I'm going to try to videotape it. I haven't really talked to her too much about it, but some of the things she says she can do, and allegedly, her friend, who's been there 20 years now, her assistant manager, now granted, of course, she can vouch for it. Oh, well, anybody would do that. She worked for her. I get it. Listen, skeptics, I get it. But I spent a long time with them on that day, hours and hours and hours. Again, you kind of feel people out and stuff. I believe what the conversations we had, and she's willing to do some tests in the future. I'm telling you that. So she tells me, she was just so happy and thrilled and just couldn't believe how much support she got with Litecoin donations. She just couldn't believe it. Joe, I'm the one that gives out everything. Yes, I get, of course she gets paid. But by the way, she doesn't do very many readings per week. Why? Because it is extremely taxing on her body and soul and everything. That she's got to have a break, like constantly. So while people might think, oh, she's getting whatever per half hour, it's not like she's got a whole bunch of things booked every day. It ain't happening like that. And after she came on my show, that immediately, she's like as soon, almost right when it ended, we had 25 new people calling and trying to get in. So I'm like, I told you I knew some people would be doing that, which they'll have to be put, in line, because she just doesn't do that many a week. So she's like, I'm the one that gives. It's my job. I feel like it's my duty. And, I don't really get too much, but it is what it is, And I'm like, well, I'm Jason it for, and that is not how I roll, or a lot of my people. So that's why I was like, let's get her started in crypto properly. You know what I'm saying? And so that was that. So she says to me, I wasn't asking anything. I didn't ask her for anything. And she says, listen, you think your subscriber, you think your people would like, if I came on, and I don't know if it'd be once a month, once every, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you the time frame. We didn't really discuss it. But more than once, like continual basis. She says, I will gladly come on your show. And if we can figure a way to have people calling in live stream, and I will read them live. I'm like, you want to do that? She's like, sure, I'll do that. I'll do that for you and your guys. Yeah, I absolutely will. I'm like, oh my God, you don't even know what you're in for. You don't even know what you done did. So I'm thinking, how the hell do I get people to call in a 1-800 number? Oh, Blog Talk Radio. Pastor Dow's been doing that forever. I used to do it a few times back in the day, and then I just like, well, that's not my kind of thing. But Blog Talk Radio, I think you can do it there. You get a 1-800 number. You have like a little digital switchboard, so you can kind of keep people in the waiting list. Okay, next caller. Hey, you're on. And she says, all we need is like, and I have to ask her again, but, their name, like first name. I don't know if they need their birth date or the year of their birth or something. And then their sign, are you a Capricorn? Are you a Leo? Whatever. Like that was all she needed. But I'm like, well, you talk about looking at people through the eyes. You said something about the eyes as the entrance into the soul. Whatever. She goes, yeah. I was like, well, what if they're on Skype? And she says, well, because if I have her on Skype, it's audio only, right? And I could add a party to the call through Skype, right? And then she could see them. So she's like, well, that would work, but it's not actually necessary. So I'm like, I'm just trying to figure for her, like, what would be best? Apparently, it doesn't really matter. So it wouldn't make sense to have people calling in on Blog Talk, and then during the Blog Talk, all right, you're on. Okay, now contact me through Skype. What's your Skype name? I got to, time is money, and she's like, we'll just have a few questions. We'll limit it to whatever, and have the people have their questions ready. Don't have them call them. Tell me something about myself. Like, let's just get your questions that only you know about. Whatever, get your questions ready. And then when you call, okay, go for it. Hey, what's your name? Birth year, whatever she asked, and then your symbol, sign in. Okay, good, go. Okay, okay, she answers it. Boom. Next one. She answers it. Boom. Okay, 3 questions. All right, thanks. Have a nice day. Boom. Next person. Not that I'm going to be running an assembly line, but I don't know how many she's going to be able to handle, like back to back. I don't know, but we're going to work out the details. And she offered that to come on my show live. Not pre-recorded, live. She pulled a Bill O'Reilly. F it, we'll do it live. Love it. But there's some abilities she has that will honestly, if it's true, and I'm telling you, I believe it's true, blow your effing mind. And I'm dying to find out, when can I get with you again and do a couple little tests on some pretty amazing claims she has that I believe. I'm not even going to tell you what they are right now. But I do believe it. I'm telling you, I believe it. Every ounce of, soul in my body, whatever. And I don't even want to tell you. I just want to record it and show you one day. Hey guys, guess where I was this weekend? Oh, I got something to show you. Watch this. Yes, she did just do that. Yes, she just did do that too. Yeah, that's correct. And you're going to sit there with your jaw hitting the ground saying there's no way that just happened. I'm telling you now, it is going to happen. And I was just amazed by some of the other abilities that she can do. And her assistant lady, her name is Shantae. And I was like, so when I first kind of got there, sitting down, we're on our patio, real nice weather outside. And we're just sitting there chatting for a minute, and Michelle was still inside doing something, so I didn't see her or meet her yet. So I was just talking to Shantae and her husband, Michelle's husband Jay, real nice dude too, real nice guy. All of them, and all three of them, beautiful people. I'm going to tell you that right now. And talk about good, clean vibes. I mean, Jesus, it was great. I'm gonna say that, but I'm like, so tell me your story. How did you meet her? She's like, oh, I've been with her for 20 years, about 20 years now. I'm like, you've been doing this for 20 years with her? She's like, yes. I'm like, tell me that story. How did that happen? She says, well, I needed my nails done one day, and Michelle had a nail salon, over, 20 years ago, roughly. So I'm getting my nails done, and she's doing them, and she got my hand, and she's touching it, and, getting ready to do that. She goes, listen, I've got to tell you something. I just need to tell you this, okay? And she starts to tell her something about her previous husband. I'm not getting the details, but it blew her mind, and she was a little scared. I don't know if she left and came back or something like that, but she was okay. But was like, no, I need to know more. Like, you were right, and now that I'm over that, tell me more, or whatever, however it went. And long story short, nails ain't your thing. Let's take you somewhere and get your, use you appropriately. And so they started doing readings, and she would set them up, and it kind of progressed a little bit, and they would go to different seminars and things where she would show up, and then she'd go do her thing in New York, Lilydale or whatever it was called, and stuff like that. So I'm going to share one more thing with you, although it's none of your damn business, but you're going to like to hear it, so I'm going to share it with you. It's because this is going to be, I've just got a feeling, again, when I heard this, I just knew I had to meet this lady. It was meant to be, and I'm going to help get this done. I just knew it, okay? So we're chatting, and she's like, I asked her, I said, you remember when you were saying how you were up to 18 years old, you had the ability, but boom, car accident, and you switched seats with someone because Spirit had said something earlier, whatever, and your cousin, whoever it was, he kind of he lost his life for you, so to speak. But you also were technically dead, and you went to, near-death experience kind of a thing. I said, you remember we were talking about that, and then you said, you were like, I want to stay. No, I like it here. I want to stay here. And they're like, no, we got a job for you down there. You got to finish. We need you down there, doing your duty or whatever. I forgot, I'm paraphrasing, and they're like, look, and she says it was basically like fast forwarding my life, 18, 19, 20, all the way out to the future. And they're showing her scenes of her doing stuff in the future. And she can clearly see she's helping people. So she knew, oh, all right, yeah, this is my duty. All right. So she said, all right, she was like, well, how the heck my body's tore up. And she says, the Spirit said, don't worry about your body. I'll fix your body. You just go back, and fulfill, your mission or whatever it was. And so she came to and all that stuff, So I said to her, you remember when you were saying that? She goes, yeah. I said, is there anything maybe in particular out of all those things? Because you said you kind of saw the future, so you would know kind of what stage you're at in that timeline, I guess, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, is there something that really stands out that you remember fast forwarding to, like, oh, but that hasn't happened yet? And she's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, well, can you tell me? She's like, yes. She says, you've seen the movie The Matrix? I'm like, oh, yeah, of course, yes. And she's like, the Oracle? I'm like, yeah. And there's the scene, remember, when Neo comes in and there's the little kids in there. And the kid's bending the spoon, and he's, use your mind. And, it's a school that the Oracle's teaching the kids how to use their, psychic abilities, appropriately, teaching them that kind of thing. She's like, I swear I felt like that was me. I was the Oracle, and I've got all these kids around me. And I mean kids, not the adults, it's the kids who have these abilities, and their parents don't know what to do with them, and they think ADHD, and they got all these things, and it's not that. They have the ability, and I need to work with them. I need to train them, help them unlock some of that stuff, and just basically work with them because their parents don't know what to do. And she's like, I saw myself at some kind of facility, like a call it a camp, summer camp, or what I mean, just something like that. And it's not in the city. This is out like you'd expect, like a camp, peace, quiet, nature, birds. What I mean? That kind of setting. On I don't know how many acres, but several acres, I would assume, is what I'm telling you. But just based off what she described to me. And she's like, I saw myself doing that. And it was even to where some people would pay us as a camp kind of a thing, send our kid here for whatever. But then there's other kids who just need the help, and I'm going to help them flat out, paid or not paid. And she was like kind of describing it like that. And I'm just thinking to myself while she's talking, my wife was sitting there too. We're like, man, we always wanted to do what Pastor Dowell did, where he's got his whole community of like-minded people, although his is more on the religious side of his, that kind of view. I don't want to make one in any kind of religious thing. I just want and that's what I was talking a while back, like, man, and I've mentioned this on some videos, like, oh, the crypto ranch, right? They'll make a crypto ranch where people come, have a little vacation. But I'm thinking, well, at some point, crypto's going to be so normal. What's going to be exciting about going over there to, everyone knows about cryptos, who cares? But I just thought, oh, well, maybe it would be for certain people or something. I don't know. Just thinking, I've always wanted something like that. And how can I do it? And what would it be for? And, and I just said, man, if I make it in these cryptos, man, or in anything in life, honestly, it didn't have to be cryptos. Got to make that happen. I want to do something. I'll figure it out once we get closer, But it's always been in the back of my mind. I want that. So now she's telling me she kind of wants the same thing, but there's the reason behind it. Teach gifted children. And I'm like, oh, so kind of like X-Men. Charles Xavier, what's this institute for, whatever children? She's like, yeah, like that too. Same thing, like the Matrix, that, exactly. I'm like, yeah, sweet. So I said, let me just say this. If Theta Token, I said, I hope, Spirit, listen, I hope you're listening, Spirit, because I'm just going to say this out loud. I said something stupid, I'm like, look, if Theta Token does even kind of, maybe it only gets into the hundreds, not 1,000, you know what I mean? Kind of what Spirit told you, I will buy and build the whole thing for you. Okay? And by the way, you know how many Theta tokens you have? Yeah, listen, if it gets to $1,000, here's how much you have. And she was blown away. Oh my God, are you sure? I'm like, yes. If you've got such and such 1,000 tokens times 1,000, that's how many million you have. You got, 10,000 tokens, let's say, times $1,000, that's $10 million. And I'm like, I know I bought some extra for my friends, family, because they're going to want some. And, I got it early. Imagine if I had to get it from now at 2 cents. I got all mine roughly cost average at about 11 and a half. Hold on, I got some Skype call coming in. Hang on a second. All right, so yeah, I had a little Skype call. Got an interview kind of a thing with a couple guys from the Cloak Coin project. Just to chat. Nothing real get y'all crazy psyched up. But they're moving forward. I think Cloak's going to be around. And it will probably be a pretty decently priced coin as we move through this year. But that's another conversation I'm about to have here in a minute and record that one. But anyways, the whole thing with Michelle and them, whatever. I just knew. I'm like, oh my! I was like, this must be why we just met. Like, this has to be why we met. Our paths have met. And I'm thinking, even if you get enough money to do this easily with yourself, like with your own Theta tokens, and we wait 2 or 3 years, whatever the time frame is, and Theta goes crazy, and hey, we got the money. I'm still helping. I'm still helping to build that damn facility, pay for something, land, whatever. We're doing something. And I'm like, we can make this happen. I'm like, oh my God, I can tell you right now, this could be a real possibility with these cryptos. And she also told me, aside from, hey, how would you like me to come on your show and do live readings one night? We can pick a time. And I think it's going to be the 20-something of this month. What's the exact date? 20-something later this month. We're going to do it. I'll make the announcement for sure, so you know in advance. And then there'll be I'll probably get hooked up with Blog Talk Radio and to where I can get the 1-800 number set up so I can field calls quickly and next person, that kind of thing. So look out for that. But she said, and I said, yeah, I was like, listen, if you, if you're giving a reading to somebody, because I think that's kind of how this happened. The person she was giving the reading to was asking about some investment advice. They were specifically asking about cryptos. So Spirit gave the answer, but she knew what she just gave and kind of made some mental notes. Yeah, that one. And all of a sudden this one comes out of nowhere, Theta, that the person didn't talk about. Theta just hit her. That's the one. That's the one. She's like, oh, I got to tell Pete about that one. Nobody told it to her. But she was on that topic. Someone was asking her about cryptos at the time, which was Pete's family friend. And I think that's what got that whole thing going. But she said, Joe, I will make sure you and Pete know immediately as soon as I get one of these. And I'm thinking to myself, God help my subscribers and myself if this lady starts giving me crypto calls in advance that Spirit gives her and they're on freaking point. Remember what Cliff High said about Joe 2020, Enterprise Joe? Is this part of it? Could you imagine, oh, this freaking guy, this Bozo Joe, Jason Ford is getting crazy with psychics. Well, how has he done? Well, the last 3 she gave out were pretty phenomenal. The average person's going to say, F that. What's his channel? Let me go find him. And everyone's going to want to jump into these coins. I mean, right? Would you care where the information came from? If someone starts developing a track record, that's phenomenal. Would you really care whether it came from, psychic person or, or me pretending that I got some, I could make some story up and really it's actually a psychic person giving it to me? You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine that? But I don't know that, we're going to cross that bridge when we get there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's kind of the update I have for you. There's, again, I was like dying to put her through a couple of really, really cool tests that would blow your mind. And capture it all on camera to where you can't say, oh, they did that, they made that up. Oh no. The two different tests that I have in my mind right now, there's no way to fake it. There's no way to stage it. It will blow your mind. It will take my YouTube channel to the next, it'll skip over a level and go to the next level. Joe, you just powered up. You're going to that level, skip it, go to the next level. I'm telling you right now, it's what's going to happen. So I'm going to try to get with them at some point in the near future. Can we meet up such and such and do some of that? Yes, I'm sure they probably will. But anyways, that's the update. And I was just thrilled to death to go down there and meet her. I mean, all these things that lined up. Again, the remote viewer the day before. Stage 3, we call that Theta. What? Excuse me? Yeah, we call that Theta. The psychic I've got coming on tomorrow, her number 1 pick that I haven't told really anybody about, and not even you, is Theta. No, you're kidding. No, I swear to God. It's Theta. Can you get me some of them? Yes, I can. I will hook you up. Dick Algier, it's on the house, son. He sent me his ETH address earlier today. I haven't had a chance to reply back and send him a little temporary test. Did you get it? But I will do that tonight. So I got to run. I got to get ready for this interview here in a few minutes with the Cloak guys. And nothing in particular. Again, I'd give you a little heads up right now, honestly. Just a little chat to put it back in front of everybody's face. Like, hey, don't forget about Cloak, and I'm here to tell you, Cloak will rise with those other ones. Don't count it out. I'll tell you that right now. Take care.